back, and it's Noel Sheehy who's gone in full-back as expected. So Conor O'Donovan is off and Noel Sheehy is in full-back. Start of the second half. So 3-5 for Cork, 1-7 for Tipperary. Straight away it's Conal Bonner. Joe Hayes here. Player down injured in the middle of the field, that's Pat Hartnett as the player restarts. Jim Cashman. So Pat Hartnett will need attention, having picked up that injury right at the start of this second half. Ger Fitzgerald, who got 2 goals in the first half, and a change is required, it seems. Player who came back into the heat of the championship, having missed the last 3 seasons when he was in the US. So Pat Hartnett looks decidedly shaky as Dr. Con Murphy's gone in there to attend to him, the Cork medical officer on the left-hand side with Gerald McCarthy.
They look concerned there, Jordan. I can see a sub warming up already. I think it's Kieran McGuffin is coming in, is it?
David Quirk, I think.
David Quirk
is going to come in. There was a suggestion that Quirk might well have been in midfield in the first place. All the speculation, of course, that goes on the weeks before the championship. As we're watching that shoulder by Hartnett, he came off second best. Meanwhile, back under pressure, Sean O'Gorman clearing for Cork on this misty afternoon. Declan Carr driving it in, but driving it outside for Tipperary, the first wide of the second half.
Sure, it could be quite a loss for Cork because Pat Hartnett was having a very powerful game in the middle of the field. He was doing a lot of work, putting a lot of Tipperary players under pressure, and he was certainly making his presence felt. But David Quirk is a very tough young player, not very well known outside of Cork, but very highly rated in Cork and club hurling, I know, and he should be well up to the task here.
Quirk has gone in to left half forward, or right half back I should say. Quirk is right half back, and Cathal Casey is the one who's been dispatched into midfield. So changes then being made by Cork, enforced changes. Cashman towards Tomás Mulcahy, super fetch with the left hand, standing his ground, driving it across towards John Fitzgibbon's wing. Beaten for it, however, by Paul Delaney. Fitzgibbon with 1 point to his credit so far in this match, but instrumental in setting up one of the Cork goals in the first half. Declan Carr watches that one come loose to Cathal Casey now, I'll remind you, out in midfield. Tipping it forward into space, nobody there for it, so it means a race out from his full-back position for Noel Sheehy, now Tipperary's full-back. Meanwhile, back in the centre, the player who started all of that, Cathal Casey linking up with Brendan O'Sullivan, whipping on it deep down towards John Fitzgibbon again. Fitzgibbon having moved infield in his corner forward position. It reaches Tony O'Sullivan, pursued over there by Conal Bonner, turning on his right-hand side. Player has scored 5 points in last year's Munster final. Tony O'Sullivan with just 1 point so far, and that came from a free. In the first half, 6 points for Tipperary came from play, 1 from a free. Cork with 3 points from play, 2 from frees, and of course 3 goals as well. Nicky English dropping it forward, but not quite on the same wavelength there with Cormac Bonner. Bonner watches with Ger Cunningham, and John Considine has gifted it to John Lahey. Well, that is one they really should have put away. It was a gift initially, but it was fucked out by John Considine only as far as the waiting Lahey, and they should have done better, and he knows it.
Well, it's a let off for Cork here. John Considine hurries his clearance small, but it just hits it straight at John Lahey. It's normally deadly from this distance. You'd expect him to score from there. It's a bad white for Tipperary, and Tipperary could rue the misses they've had in this game, because they've certainly had plenty of opportunities, and they should even be level at this stage, if not ahead.
Bobby Ryan in front of an attendance of 46,927. Brendan O'Sullivan flashing in there with Declan Ryan. Ryan has seen his hurley broken, needs a replacement. It'll be a free for Tipperary following all of that. Michael Cleary, the player who's going out to take it. So a new stick has been given to Declan Ryan, and Michael Cleary will probably try to tap this one in towards Cormac Bonner for a Tipperary side looking for their first point of the second half. No scores for either team so far, half which is now 5 minutes old. Well, he's gone for the point and he's put it over the bar. It's a fine shot. A long range free from the middle of the field, put over by Michael Cleary for his third point of the afternoon.
Well, it's an excellent score by Cleary, because in fairness, he hasn't been playing that well, and he's missed easier frees in the first half, but under pressure he gets in a very, very important score for Tipperary. That puts him right back in the game, just a goal behind Cork, and it's all to play for.
Declan Carr bats it down. David Quirk trying to come across there. It went from Jim Cashman's stick out as far as Declan Ryan, and Ger Cunningham's in trouble, and Cormac Bonner was in there raiding. Richard Brown there as well. Ger Cunningham, second attempt, picks it up, takes the shoulder from Pat Fox, gets out his clearance, however. Goalkeeper injured in the process. Tipperary under pressure, and John Madden hopes for it very capably. Declan Ryan looking for a little bit of space, outside to Madden again. Blocked down. Up to Nicky English with 1 point from the first half, but looking for another score in what's been a disappointing match for him so far. Well, as we say, just 3 points between the teams still.
Well, John Madden blocked down initially, but again fires a very good ball across the 21-yard line, where Nicky English advances to it, and in the past this has been his classical situation, turning onto his right hand, but again it just drifts off to his left hand side and wide. Again, you know, these could be costly wides for Tipperary, but they're certainly playing in the game with greater fire and great equipment, and they're not out of this game by any means.
10 wides for Tip, 5 for Cork. Cathal Casey trying to round Declan Carr across towards Mark Foley. Michael Ryan, the substitute. Mark Foley has yet to score in this match, not making the impression that he made last year. Cleary going forward, rounding Cashman, who slips. Still Cleary, a great scoring chance this for Tipperary, and Cleary has put it over the bar, and now there's just 2 points between the teams.
This is a great run here again by Cleary. He's starting to put himself and John Lahey on the other wing are starting to come into the game, and the races inside the Cork defence here, and Sean McCarthy just toiling behind him. Cleary strikes an excellent point.
And just listen now to the Tipperary followers getting behind their team as Shawnee McCarthy tries to put the tip backs under a bit of pressure again. Paul Delaney. Well, he was fouled.
I think it's noticeable too, Gerald, the Tipperary full back line have certainly tightened up in the Cork full forward line, and introducing Noel Sheehy into full back seems to have had the desired effect, and Michael Ryan also seems to be a good substitution for them.
Breaks on to Pat Fox, again going by Jim Cashman. Fox closed down momentarily, still going forward, but then the ball going further away from goal, and in the end picked off the ground. Free out for Cork. Well, just for a moment there he'd gone by Jim Cashman and was going in to put just the bare minimum between the teams, but in the end just lost his way. Sean O'Gorman. Brendan O'Sullivan and Joe Hayes under the dropping ball, and it's Hayes who takes it magnificently. Up towards Fox's wing again, O'Gorman gets there first. Well, as we've been saying, it's a magnificent crowd as always down here at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. I think they're enjoying it enormously because it's a very tight, tense match. A lot of good hurling, some great scores as well, some terrible misses also, but that's all part of the ingredients, I suppose, of a great championship tie. Nicky English racing across here with John Considine of Cork. Sean O'Gorman coming in, whipping it outside. It was McCarthy, in fact. Tony O'Sullivan battling, referee holding up proceedings. David Quirk is Cork's number 18, and the injured player down there is John Lahey. Cork get themselves the free, and it's Cathal Casey who will take it 65 metres out from his own goal. A Cork side yet to score in the second half. Brendan O'Sullivan in there, Tomas Mulcahy takes it well, in dashing style, going forward, sending the pass outside to Mark Foley, looking for his first point of the afternoon. Still Foley, taken down, free, and so very near to being inside the large rectangle. Very, very near to being a penalty.
Well, an excellent catch by Tomás Mulcahy just prior to that, and he releases the ball to Mark Foley, who turns inside the Tipperary defender and he's taken down. Very well won free for Cork, and an important one as well. But it's significant how Tomás Mulcahy is playing at centre half forward, where he's been so influential for Cork in the past year.
Tony O'Sullivan taps it over and opens up a gap of 3 points again between the teams. Well, a match this which I hope you're enjoying enormously. We're now 10 minutes, a little over, into the second half, and it's very delicately balanced. David Quirk calling, missing. Having to go by now and try and stem the tide as John Leahy asserts himself, chips it across. Well, I'm not too sure if it was a pass or an attempt on a score. Somewhere in between. So Gerard Cunningham, long puck expert, with the pucking out stick. Slight breeze into his face for the second half. Down to Tony O'Sullivan. Nicely dropped in, Paul Delaney going across there. Likewise John Fitzgibbon, the umpire well positioned, saw that it went off the Tipperary back. Looked a good decision from here. And Cathal Casey is the player who will go across to take it. There were strong rumours before this match that Cathal Casey might not be able to play because of a hamstring injury. But he's played, and he's played well. Scorer of 2 points so far. That's turning to the left. Cork's second wide of the second half, 6 in all against 11 for Tipperary. Ken Hogan's puck out. Dropping in the middle of the field. Cathal Casey breaking it down, having to pursue it himself. Joe Hayes getting there first, however. Over towards Sean O'Gorman, the left corner back. Giving the shackles there on Pat Fox. Always a danger man for Tipperary. John Madden here, number 5. Beautiful skill, taking it neatly. Cross towards John Leahy's wing. David Quirk is his marker now for the second half, remember, following the departure early in the half of Pat Hartnett. Pursued by Fox, by Hayes, I should say. English involved in the move here with Ryan. Leahy, switch of wings, and the same end result for John Leahy, a fine score. So a point for John Leahy, coming across diagonally from left to right, involved in that intricate passing movement. Well, initially very good hard working there by Nicky English, who, although he's not playing, things aren't going that well for himself, he's not hiding, he's certainly trying to get involved in the game. And in effect, he helped create a very good score for John Leahy. But Nicky English certainly isn't hiding all the way. Things aren't happening for him, but he's trying to haul himself back into the game. And, he could be a danger man for Tipperary yet. Tipper just within 2 points of Cork. Considine. What an engrossing championship match. Cathal Casey firing one in from way out the field, in towards Kevin Hennessy, dropping down towards Mark Foley. Chance for Mark Foley. Stopped brilliantly by Ken Hogan. On the goal line they wait. Fitzgibbon might have had a follow-up chance, but Mark Foley involved there in the fisticuffs with Paul Delaney. It was a splendid save by Ken Hogan. Mark Foley might well have gone for a point, which would have been his first score in the game. Instead he drove it in defiantly. Well, this could be a vital turning point. The ball dropping in here between Noel Sheehy and Kevin Hennessy, and the tip defender commits himself. Mark Foley gathers it beautifully with one hand and strikes it perfectly with his left hand, but that's a fantastic reaction save by Ken Hogan. Never took his eye off the ball, and even with the Cork forwards coming in on top of him, he stood his ground, and it was a vital save for Tipperary, and who knows, it could be a turning point. Just watching in reprise there, he was kicked as well on the ground, but he's back on his feet. And the crowd all around Páirc Queeve responding. A change being made by Cork, and coming into the match in place of Brendan O'Sullivan, seems to be Pat Buckley, I think, has come in.